Hey, it's Kim Commando Today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to commando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. I'm not going to start out with a question.
No?
Because you always tell me I start out with a question.
You don't have a question like, have you ever petted an elephant? Or what planet have you been to? Nothing like that?
What's the strangest thing you've ever asked Alexa?
You couldn't do it.
I know. What's the strangest thing?
I don't have Alexa. What's the strangest thing I've ever asked Google? I don't know. I ask Google a lot of math, and it's not very good.
No at math?
No. If you go bigger than two numbers, it's lost. That's why I'm not worried about AI.
12.
I don't know, square root of 7. Like,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't get it.
No. Okay, well, there's a woman by the name of Lucy Blake. She's going viral on TikTok. And this video has had over 2 million views.
Okay.
A little bit more than ours.
Just a little bit.
And it has to do with Alexa answering a question about when the United States is going to end. Here, watch.
What happens to America on February 20th, 2031?
On February 20th, 2031, the United States of America ceases to exist.
Uh-oh.
This date marks the culmination of a process of unification between various governments that was not approved by most people.
Okay, so...
New World Order.
She puts this up on TikTok.
Right.
And then, what do you think Amazon said?
Amazon said you probably trained your Alexa to do that and that this isn't real.
They didn't say that. They said it was a glitch.
That would be, the first thing I would assume is that someone just did this for clicks.
Well, yeah, because you can program Alexa to say anything.
It's not a glitch. It's a hallucination.
Oh.
That's the new term. You got to get with that.
Okay, so whenever I make a mistake right now, from now on, I should just say, I'm sorry, I was hallucinating.
Yeah, it's just a hallucination. Carry on.
But then people think, like, what kind of drugs is she on? What's going on with that woman? No.
No.
It's just an hallucination.
It's just a hallucination. No big deal.
That's Amazon Blueprints.
What's that?
You go to blueprints.amazon.com.
Oh, to make your own.
Yeah, you can make your own prompt, your own answer, anything that you want.
I'm sure that's what she did.
Yes, I know. This date marks the culmination of a process of unification between various governments that was not approved by most people.
That sounds like it was written by AI as well. Write me a script that would, talk about the New World Order and the end of the world and all that jazz.
But good news for everyone. You don't have to pay your student loans.
No. Go ahead and default. So we're only 6 years away.
That's right. And on that happy note, welcome. It's Kim Commando Today. It's your great podcast about all things digital. And of course, I'm America's beloved digital goddess, Kim Commando, here with you.
Oh, that's why that name's all over this building.
And then joining me is my compadre, my co-host, awesome Andrew Babinski.
Hi, Kim.
What do you have for us today?
Rap battle.
I'm sorry, what?
We got a rap battle.
Rap battle?
Yeah, rap battle. I mean, normally the stuff we talk about on Kim Commando Today.
Sure.
Talking about a rap battle, but it's actually gone high tech.
Ooh. See, now there's a cliffhanger right there.
Right there. That's what I'm supposed to do. It's a tease.
Oh, man, that was really
Can't just give the whole story.
I'm giving away a $500 Amazon gift card, but you can't win.
I was going to say, I'll take it.
No, winfromkim.com.
I could use it.
Winfromkim.com. I know, we could all use a $500 Amazon gift card.
I mean, imagine if you said, here's my Christmas list, and you got a $500 head start. That's perfect.
We'd love that. Go to winfromkim.com. You see, I'm wearing like a little festive Christmas stuff.
It is the velvet?
It's velvet.
Oh, it looks soft.
It's like your smoking jacket.
All right, I know nothing about style, apparently. Yes. Obviously. You've seen me on this show before. But you're wearing 3 different reds.
I am not.
That's 3 different reds.
They're all complementary reds.
Shouldn't the shirt be a different color?
No.
All right. Like I said,
what the hell do you know?
I know nothing.
Look at you. You're wearing, what are you wearing?
That's a red shirt and brown pants.
Where'd you get that shirt? JCPenney?
Yeah.
Honest?
Yeah.
That is the ugliest shirt I've ever seen in my entire life.
You're only on the attack because I attacked you for wearing 3 different reds.
I am not wearing, and I'm wearing black shoes.
Okay.
You want to throw that in? Mr. Brown socks with tan pants?
These are black.
Black? Oh my God, that's even worse. Tan pants with black socks and brown shoes.
Wow, someone's defensive today. You mentioned one thing about their outfit and they go nuclear.
We have a great guest coming up. Kagan Dunlap.
Oh, he's got a kind of a big YouTube channel.
Oh, he's huge. He's huge. And his story is so interesting to me, especially because we have people Yes, all the time. They do drop me notes and emails that they think that they're marrying somebody who they met online.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, there's one guy that I'm really trying to help with. I mean, but he doesn't want to believe it. He does not want to hear that Reese Witherspoon is not going to marry him.
But that's the thing. He's not even talking to Reese Witherspoon. He's talking to Reese Witherspoon's mom.
But Reese is sending him videos.
They have to be real then. They couldn't be deepfakes.
Sure. All right, here are some things that are happening in the techverse that I think you need to know about. So this way you will sound super smart to your family members and friends.
All right.
Okay. So there's this guy in Missouri, and he thinks to himself, you know what? I need to get a job as a cybersecurity professional.
Good industry.
Okay. You know, up and coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always going to be there.
So he decides to hack into a gym.
Wait a minute. He wants to be in cybersecurity and decides the best way to do that is hacking into somewhere?
Yeah, he hacks into a gym.
Okay.
And changes his membership to $1.
Okay.
And then calls up the gym and says, this is why you need to hire me.
Oh, okay. I mean, I get the premise, the idea behind it. But, you know, if you wanted to be a security guard at a bank, you just don't go and rob it and then say, hey, look, if you had better security.
As it turns out, the local authorities are not amused.
No, of course not.
They arrested him. Let's move on to Netflix. Said in Netflix, we need them to chill.
Why?
Because you remember that whole password crackdown?
Yeah.
And they made, here, I got to look at the money. Okay. Their profits soared right after the crackdown, jumped to $2.3 billion, a 79% increase from the same quarter of the previous year. So obviously, the password crackdown helped.
I was sharing a password with a family member. Like we'd trade, I'd give them Paramount Plus and they would give me their Netflix. And then when they did the crackdown, I had to go out and get my own Netflix. I was bummed.
You know, a friend of mine, Joe, she was using her next door neighbor's Netflix.
Yeah, everybody does it. I mean, why do you think they're making all this money?
Well, now they're saying that people still may be sharing their passwords. And so now they're going to just log everybody out if they think that you're sharing their passwords.
But how are they getting around? I mean, just for educational purposes, how are they getting around it?
You know, I don't know. Maybe they're using VPNs.
Okay, that's possible.
Something like that.
Because now, like, even with Hulu, if I log into my Hulu somewhere else, it says, hey, you're not at home, so we're going to put it in vacation mode, and you only can watch, you know, certain programming. You can't watch live TV or your save stuff or anything like that.
All right, so guess what else is happening in the world?
That's a pretty broad question.
Scams.
Oh, that's every minute of every day.
I know, it's like every day. Okay, here's the newest one. You know, 3 out of every 4 holiday-themed emails are scams.
75%?
Wow, see, look at that, you did the math.
Mm-hmm. I didn't need Google Assistant for that one.
Yes. So if you're getting like all these emails that purport to be from like Shein or Amazon or Best Buy or whatever it may be, is that they could be a scam.
These scammers are actually pretty smart.
They are.
Like, I mean, if you took the effort that you're using to scam people and just went out and did something positive, you probably could make a pretty good living for yourself.
You know, I took a call on the show the other day and listen to this, she's in Tucson. She's trying to sell a 2007 Buick.
Okay.
It was her like mom or dad's car or something like that. Didn't have low mileage. And she doesn't know anything about tech, but she puts it on Craigslist.
Mistake.
Yes. Okay. Puts her phone number.
Mistake.
Okay, there. And so people are saying like, I'd really want to buy the 2007 Buick from you. She's like, yes. Okay, but here's the twist, is that they say, okay, we need you to go to this website to get a full-blown like Carfax, but it's not a Carfax site.
Time out. The minute they ask you to do something other than meet me at CVS so we can exchange product for money, it's a scam.
Okay.
That's a PSA to anyone.
So she's getting calls from people who are saying like, I need to have this special car report from this site.
Go get it yourself then.
Okay. And so she's buying it. And so the question is, who's making the money?
The person reaching out?
Yeah. It could be like an affiliate deal.
Oh, you think so?
It could be affiliate marketing. I mean, think about that. Is that, you know, if
so it's a legitimate site that she's going to get the report.
Well, it could be. Could not be. I'm not sure. But I thought that would be like a really creative way to make money.
Is it technically a scam then?
Yeah, because the guy has no interest in buying the car. He's trying to make $10 off of whatever car report that is.
I guess that's true. You're right.
And so if you could go all throughout the internet and get unsuspecting people to
Right.
say,
If you're doing that 50,000 times,
You're
then
gonna make
yeah,
some money. Make
that
$5,
brings
$10, $20
brings it to the
sometime.
level of scam.
So you just have to be careful.
I just told you the number one tip. If it's anything, I sell stuff on the internet all the time.
Where would you sell a car?
constantly. A car, probably to a dealership because I don't want to deal with the hassle.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
because there are so many people out there that are doing stuff like this, or they're going to take the car, do something, they want their money back, and now you have to deal with that. I would just sell it to a dealership. But if I was going to sell
did
it
that. That's what
privately,
I do too.
I would probably use eBay Motors because you have eBay as the middleman. You're going to have to pay fees.
For sure.
So,
What
but
are the fees? I don't even know.
it all depends on the value of the car. But you could raise your price to cover those fees. So you'd still make the same amount of money, but you have some protection. So either I would sell to a dealership or I'd go through eBay Motors.
I'm not wearing 3 different shades of red.
Completely different shades.
I am not. The blouse
Mm-hmm.
goes with the jacket.
It may go with it, but it's a different color.
Okay, and the pants.
Again, a different color.
It all goes together.
Well, there's got to be a color expert. Maybe go on Fiverr. Someone who can name these 3 different
I can
reds.
guarantee you that a pink shirt from JCPenney with a white T-shirt and tan pants
Yes.
and black socks
Right.
and brown shoes
Yeah.
is a definite glamour don't.
I hit a nerve. I definitely hit a nerve.
Are you still collecting baseball cards?
Not as much. I mean, during the pandemic, it was so big. I mean, I was making thousands of dollars a month doing it.
Really?
Yeah, but the market has totally changed since
So
the
how do you
middle of
make thousands of dollars trading baseball cards?
Well, at the time I was buying, there was a lot of people who were the gamblers who'd rip open the packs trying to get the $50,000 card. But then they'd have the $30, $40, $50 cards left, and they didn't want them because they were just gambling, looking for the big money. So I'd buy those lots from them for 70, 60% of what they're worth, and then I'd resell everything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, you missed out.
Oh, okay. I just told you making thousands of dollars a month. I missed out.
This guy's making like $35,000, $50,000.
That's a legitimate full-time business.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No. The guy went on Facebook Marketplace.
Right.
And saw a trunk of baseball magazines for sale.
Okay.
And he bought the trunk of baseball magazines for $75.
Okay.
And inside, of course, there were all the magazines, but there were really expensive baseball cards.
Oh, that's cool.
Like Babe Ruth,
Okay.
Jackie Robinson. What is I don't know how to pronounce this, a Goudey sheet?
Say it again?
It's
Goudey?
Yeah.
So you used to get books. Beckett was the biggest one. You would get a Beckett book, and that book you have all the sets in it and tell you the value of the card. So you just find the set, find the card number, and you know exactly. Oh. Goudey was a competitor to Beckett.
Oh, okay, because it says it has Goudey sheets worth at least $35,000.
Wow.
And what's a Bond bread card?
Bread, obviously, baseball cards used to come in tobacco. They used to come in kids' toys.
They're like worth like $50,000.
Yeah, because they're probably the original. Like, Honus Wagner, that's the first ever baseball card. And that was at the bottom of a tobacco package. Because there weren't baseball cards. You wouldn't go to the 5 and Dime and buy a pack of baseball cards. Baseball cards started in being inserts in products.
You're really into this baseball card thing.
Well, yeah. This is my hobby.
You're like ruthless.
That's so bad. That joke was as bad as your color coordination.
I am color. You know what? If you are listening to the podcast audio, okay, you just have to go to youtube.com/Kim Commando.
Right.
And you will see I am wearing a wonderful Tahari outfit.
Okay.
With theory pants and Da Vinci shoes.
All right.
Not Mr. JCPenney.
It's 3 different reds.
Okay. You're wearing pink, white. I still can't get over the tan pants and the black socks. Okay. I could deal with the pink shirt.
Sure.
And the white T-shirt. Mm-hmm. I think it's the black socks. I mean, you remind me of like people I would see in Hawaii. They would get there. They would have like plaid shorts on and a Hawaiian shirt, and then like the black socks and black shoes because they just came from.
They're dress socks.
You don't wear dress socks like that.
Like this, like black dress socks.
Not with tan pants.
All right.
Not with tan pants.
Boy, did I get to you.
It's Kim Commando Today. It's your fun podcast about everything digital. If you're just wondering, this is not the Kim Commando Show. We would love for you to tap into the show. So wherever you get your podcast, just search for Kim Commando, and then you want to hit the show. And there are two versions of the Kim Commando Show. One is free, and one is not.
It's the same show, though, right?
Yes.
You just decide whether you want to pay for it and not get any commercials, or download the podcast for free and listen to the commercials, which is literally every single podcast out there.
So when you are, not that you're doing anymore, when you're out there and you're single and you're looking,
right?
And if some hot woman says, "Hi, Andrew, I'm in love with you,"
right?
Do you think wow, it's my lucky day?
The first message? That's the first message?
Yes.
No, I don't think that at all. I think it's a scam.
Well, joining us is Kagan Dunlap. He is a good-looking U.S. Marine.
I'll be the judge of that.
And since 2015, he's been targeted by romance scammers who are using his name and likeness and image in order to scam women. And it's gotten so bad that, some of these women are reaching out to his wife saying, I don't know if you know this, but Kagan and I are running away to Switzerland and we're going to get married.
Oh, no.
I know. So joining us right now is Kagan.
All right, fine. He is good looking.
Okay,
you were right.
Okay, he's better looking than you.
Of course. Well, most people on the planet are better looking than me.
There's that. So, Kagan, let's be honest. What do you think about Andrew's outfit?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the guy who knows anything about outfits, to be honest with you. So, I always tell people wear what's comfortable,
See?
My wife doesn't tell me what I wear. I don't tell her what she can wear. Honestly, I just wear loose fitting stuff whenever I can, because if I'm at work, I'm not necessarily going to have that choice.
Here's the difference, since we've sidetracked to this. It took me about 4.5 seconds to get dressed before I left the house. I grabbed 3 things off 3 hangers and threw them on my body. That was planned, took time.
It did.
You thought over it.
Effort, energy.
And you decided, well, 3 different reds. That's fine.
It is not. You know what? You're colorblind.
These are first world problems.
They are.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
All right. So, Kagan, thanks for being here. Read about what you have done. Take us back to when it all started.
So it really started in 2015, I would say, roughly. So I would say that the time where they started to feed off of my photos and take photos and videos and stuff like that was 2015. But I first found out that this was happening in 2016 while I was actually on a field operation in Yuma, Arizona. I had a photo that I had posted in early 2015, probably in January. We were doing some training in 29 Palms, California, the Marine Air Ground Task Force training facility over there. And I had posted a picture on my Instagram of myself in a Humvee, and you could see this thing that's called a trip ticket that was under the visor at the top. And on this trip ticket, it's basically like a way that you log your distance and where you're traveling and stuff. And on there is a list of phone numbers for contacts for people that were involved in the process of getting the vehicle issued out and all that stuff. Kind of complicated. But point is, a lady called one of the sergeants that was on that list and called and was like, hey, do you know this guy? I've been talking to him for a year. He hasn't responded to any of my messages and apparently took some money or something like that. And so that guy, his name's Sergeant Staggs. I think he's in the Army now. He got out of the Marine Corps. He's in the Army. He called me. He was like, hey, do you know this lady by any chance? And I was like, no, what are you talking about? I didn't have any idea what he was talking about. And it turns out that she had sent him a picture that she got his number from, which was that picture. And I'm like, oh, this is what's going on. So somebody had been sending her photos of me claiming to be me and was trying to, and this is a very stereotypical thing. I've got dozens and dozens of friends that this has happened to as well, where, there's people that have reached out to them thinking they had been talking to them or in a relationship with them, and typically it always starts off with they're just trying to romance them. And then it always ends up like asking for money in some way. At some point, it always ends up there, like either some disaster befell them or their family, or they can't travel, or the military's not paying them, or some other nonsense that's not true. And they try to like feed off of people's emotions to get them to give them money or to buy gift cards for them or to do things of that nature.
And
So
so,
that's kind of where it
so
started.
it seems like, the military guys seem to be a big target for this, huh?
Yeah. Well, for the longest time, before you had things like Starlink, you couldn't necessarily get cell phone service in these remote, austere environments. But now you can get internet across the planet,
For
including
sure.
Syria, Iraq, everywhere. It doesn't matter where you're located on Earth, you can have internet. And basically, the thing that I've told everybody is if the person does not won't do a video chat with you, like a FaceTime with you, and they're trying to say, oh, I can't do that because we don't have internet here or something, that is your first red flag, and that's a lie. I know people that FaceTime people on the front lines in Ukraine every day, and they have signal out there. So if they have signal out there, then this person claiming not to have signal is not located where they're saying they're located. They're probably located. Oftentimes, it's Nigeria is one of the big locations where this is happening out of, because there's a $2 billion a year industry there, just because there's a lot of people suffering from abject poverty. So people are willing to do a lot to get food on the table, right? So that's one of the locations that I've seen, especially a lot of open intelligence, open source intelligence reporting coming out of there.
So, Kagan, how many women have actually, do you think, been scammed using your name, like your name and your image, and have they reached out to you directly to say, hey, why did you stop talking to me?
Yeah, it's happened. So I couldn't tell you, like hundreds, easily hundreds, because I mean, this has been an ongoing thing I've been dealing with, like I said, since 2016. And I would get messages all the time. I would get phone calls somehow, because somehow they would find my number. There were times where I was like out hiking and I got a phone call from some random person in like Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, saying that they were talking to somebody that was claiming to be me on Tinder, and they were asking them for money, and they somehow, I don't know how they managed to get my phone number. I have no idea, but it's pretty creepy when you think about it. A lot of people using reverse Google images search.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, and that they can find out who you are. Plus, now it's like a little different than it was in 2016, because I've got tons of photos and videos of me all over the internet. I've got a pretty big presence on Google, so you can figure out who I am relatively easily now. But back then it was a little harder, but they were still managing to find ways to contact me, not just through Instagram DMs, because I got to a point where I was like, I can't even respond to all these anymore, because it was too much.
So now we're talking about a decade where this has been happening and hundreds of victims. Have you attempted to do anything to get this stopped or find out the people who are doing this?
Oh, yeah. No, I was working with... there's an organization that's based out of the UK. It's mostly ran by a group of middle-aged ladies who have been impacted by this. And so they kind of built an organization around it. And originally that was the group I was working with. And at one point they used to have a contact at Facebook fraud department who could reach out. They could reach out to this guy and he could get these fake accounts taken down. Since then, this guy's vacated the organization, doesn't work for them anymore. So they don't have a contact with Facebook fraud anymore. And they're unable to do anything to really stop it. I've also had a deep fake made of me where they were like asking for money from people for a service in uniform, which is against the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And I immediately told the Naval Investigative Criminal, what was it? NCIS. I can't remember what it stands for some reason right now, but I told NCIS immediately, told my chain of command, and I reached out to some friends I have at the Pentagon to help get that taken down through official means, because like obviously that's a huge problem, and it's happening to more and more service members now. Because like the scamming thing, yes, that's a big problem, but now deep fakes are an issue, especially if you have a pretty big online presence and you've never posted videos in uniform, and they can like take your name or take your voice and run it through an AI generator to like type in whatever they want you to say. And then they can just have you say whatever spiel they want and con people out of money and make it look like it's you, So it's getting pretty sketchy out there, especially with AI.
Yeah, because AI is, I mean, fabulous in so many ways, but when it comes to deep fakes, it's just far too easy. I mean, they only need a couple of seconds of your voice, and then they can just go ahead and duplicate it. And then as far as with video, like you mentioned, like, if they won't have a video call, then it's probably a scam, which is great, Kagan. But now they have the deep fake videos that, if you look close enough, you can see that it's probably deep fake, but we're pretty darn close where those worlds are going to be colliding. I'm interested about your wife, because I heard that some of these women have actually like tracked down your wife and said, like, he's my man.
Yeah. Well, not only have they reached out to my wife, they've reached out to my mom on Facebook.
Oh, no.
Which is wild. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. I mean, they've been reaching out to my wife constantly because her Instagram handle's tagged in my bio on Instagram so that people understand, like, hey, look, I'm married. If any account's messaging you with my face and a name that's similar to mine or anything, then it's not me. All my accounts are verified across all social media, my TikTok, my Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, everything, Facebook. So it's pretty easy to tell that, like, hey, this is the real profile and any of these other ones are fakes. And we also have a pretty good, like, I would say a very strong level of trust between us, just based on how our marriage has been. But so she understands, like, this is like a thing that's happened. It's happened to her too. She's had multiple people call her because she's also in the military. She's in the Coast Guard. So she's dealt with this similar stuff as well. But she's been pretty understanding with me about it for sure. Like, never had any issue with me, but it's just another frustrating thing because she's like had women who wouldn't let it go. Like what you guys were talking about, like, guys couldn't accept the fact that this is not actually happening. Yeah. Like, they were convinced, and there's nothing anybody could say to change their mind or swayed them or dissuade them, or, because they just were, I guess, people want to believe what they want to believe sometimes, and there's nothing anybody can say to stop them. And I've also had people come after us thinking that it was us, or thinking it was me or something, like, out of anger, because they got scammed for money, but I didn't have anything to do with it. Like, you can't blame me because other scammers on the internet want to use my likeness to try to impersonate me and, like, con you out of money, and the easiest way to solve this is just to preach to everybody, like, hey, if you've never met anyone in person yes. and they're asking you for money, maybe you shouldn't send them money. Like, that's the first rule of business.
Yeah, and it's you'd think like this is like common sense.
But it's not. It's happening every single day.
I mean, this one guy that I'm talking to, I mean, he gave Reese Witherspoon, like, I don't know, like $50,000. Okay, obviously not Reese
Witherspoon.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Not exactly.
It's like, come on, man.
You
think Reese Witherspoon's hitting you up, dude?
Okay, but her mom is involved. Reese's mom.
Oh, Jesus.
A fake Reese's mom.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and because the mom's trying to find the perfect man for Reese, and it's like, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, dude, she's beautiful. She's a billionaire. I think she can find her own man.
Right. She doesn't struggle.
She's not going to be looking for a 70-year-old retired guy in the Midwest.
Do you think that your military history or your online popularity is the number one reason that you're being used in these scams?
100% military service, because it happens to some. Yeah, it started off like that before anybody knew who I was, before I had any level of following whatsoever, and it happens to tons and tons of my friends. I've got a good friend of mine named Tim Kennedy. I don't know if you know who that is. He's been affected by this. He used to be a UFC fighter for a while, pretty well known, former Green Beret. I think he still serves in some sort of capacity. I'm not sure, but he's been affected by this a ton. Like, tons of fake accounts of him all over the place scamming women. Another good friend of mine is a big YouTuber out in California. Austin Alexander runs a big fitness organization out there called the Battle Bunker and the Hypercon Games. He's also been affected by this a ton. He got out of the Navy, and he's still being affected by it all the time. It just, like, anybody I know that's ever posted pictures of themselves in uniform on the internet, practically, almost all of them have been affected by this in some way. And it's weird because, like, sometimes these scammers will, they'll make fake accounts of this person and then follow people that this person follows, which then they're like, hey, do you have like an extra account or something I don't know about? It's weird. It's like real creepy and insidious, and just like, there's just like this level of insidiousness to it. It's just like gross.
They're getting intel.
Yeah,
they're following all the people so they can get more information, so the scam sounds a little more believable.
So
Yeah,
bottom
probably.
line,
And I mean, a lot of these folks are sitting around in these buildings, and there's like a room with like 16 people in it, all on laptops, just like on every dating website and every social media app, and they're all just DMing thousands of women a day, hoping that because even if it's only one or two that bite, like think about how much how far $100, American dollars goes in a place like Lagos. It's going to go a long way.
well, there's also now human trafficking that's happening too in Asia.
Oh, yeah.
Where where there's a story, I think the New York Times wrote about it, where a guy thought he was getting a programming job.
Oh yeah.
And he ended up in Malaysia
Yeah.
and as a prisoner, and he had to
Jeez.
scam like 14 hours a day, and if he didn't make enough money, they'd beat him up, and then finally he raised enough money to get himself out. And I mean, when you think about scammers, you don't really have that vision until these stories are being exposed. But Kagan, thanks for being here, and word to the wise, right? You see him, a hot military guy or gal. Okay.
Well, first off, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully this gets the word out to somebody, because I guarantee there's some other middle-aged folks out there that maybe they don't know, and I mean, typically this kind of thing impacts folks that are in the baby boomer generation,
For sure.
if I had to guess, more than likely, because they're may not be as tech savvy, or they're not used to this type of stuff, because this is new. This is fairly new in culture. Like, it used to be like the Nigerian princes emailing you on Yahoo or Hotmail or something.
Yeah.
And now it's all being done on social media and dating apps. So yeah.
And it's and it's sad because they're preying on people's loneliness, and especially during the holidays, it goes up higher.
Yeah, and their emotions, and like using love as a way to scam money, man. That's a huge bummer,
Yeah, I love you so much. I need your money.
Yes, of course. Prove your love to me.
Exactly. Like that doesn't add up,
Well, Kagan, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
If we save one person,
Seriously.
just one person, we all did our job.
Yeah, even one person makes a difference,
It does. It does, absolutely. All right, Andrew, I'm sorry to tell you that Kagan's better looking than you.
Yeah. Just the minute he popped on the screen, I knew that. And he's sitting here saying hundreds of people. No one's impersonating me online. Not one person.
I don't know. Don't know why.
I mean, multiple reasons. This outfit's probably number one. You're not going to deep fake anything in this outfit.
No, who'd wear black socks and pants except for you? It's Kim Commando Today.
It is.
It's our podcast.
Yes.
We have other podcasts, the Daily Tech Update,
Right.
and the Digital Life Hack.
I've heard of that one.
Have you? Mm-hmm. They're both fabulous.
I've heard you say that as well.
And you don't believe me?
Of course I do.
People stop me on the street.
Oh, gosh.
Here we go, Whitney.
I'm going to turn around. I don't want to be any part of this. Go ahead, finish the plug.
Well, that part, that's this view of your head. It's a lot. Your head kind of has a smile in the back. Do you know that? Yeah, look. Oh no, it looks like a hiney.
It does.
It's not really.
Finish the plug.
I can't. I'm being blinded
All right,
by
I'll come back.
the brightness. Of
Blinded by the light.
What was I saying?
Something about you have a bunch of
where we
great,
get your
amazing podcasts.
Yes. They're perfect for when you want to brush your teeth, take the dog out.
Because they're quick.
Just a couple of minutes, and you're going to walk away going, so smart. So smart.
All right, I have a question for you.
Yes.
You like to start segments with questions.
Yes.
Tell me everything you know about the Kendrick and Drake rap battle.
They don't like each other.
They don't. Not at all.
Spotify's involved.
Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, everybody's involved.
Bots.
So what happened is Kendrick released a diss track, and it was.
Can you sing it?
I heard it for the first time this morning.
Oh.
This is the first time I heard Kendrick Lamar ever this morning before the show.
I heard Kendrick Lamar the other day. It popped up on my Apple, and I was like, "What is that?"
And I like rap and hip hop. It's just I've never taken to him as an artist, and maybe since I've never shown any interest, it's never been on my For You page or anything like that on YouTube Music. But he came out with a song, Not Like Us, and it was a diss track of Drake, and it was pretty brutal.
To Drake.
Yes, it was a lot of sexual negative things.
Like what?
Certified pedophile is one of the lines in the song.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah. It gets real personal.
That's bad.
And within the first 4 days, it had 30 million streams
Jeez.
on Spotify.
Maybe I should start singing.
Yeah, okay. That's every time. Whatever someone else does, you're like, oh, maybe I should make a Tesla. And it just became the number one song. I believe it's on the number one song on the charts for 21 straight weeks, which is the longest a hip hop song has ever been a number one. And they changed the algorithm a couple of years ago to include streaming into factoring what the number one song is. And this is one of the biggest songs on the internet.
Okay.
Drake's not happy about it, obviously.
Right.
I mean, it took him down, and then the internet, everybody sided with Kendrick Lamar after it. They all said he won the battle and that Drake lost. Well, Drake's going to fight back. He's going to fight back in the only way he knows how, in the courtrooms. He is suing
Kendrick?
and their record label. They have the same record label, and he's suing them for false practices. This is, now you're like, you listen to a digital show. How does this have anything to do with Kim Commando today? He's saying so many claims that the record label and Kendrick Lamar did to make the song number one to attack Drake. Number one, they fired people who supported Drake. Number two, they bought 30 million bots through Spotify to hype the number of the streams of the song to make it number one.
Wow.
Number three.
That's huge.
If it's true, I mean, this is all coming from Drake, who lost.
Okay.
You think there's some back-end technology that might be able to prove this?
For sure.
They did the same thing with the video when the music video came out. They went and got a bunch of bots to go and watch the music video to make it the number one video of the week on YouTube so that, again, it looked like Kendrick was beating Drake. Number four, they paid influencers $2,500 a piece to go on and just talk about how great the song is. And they're saying they paid iHeartRadio, the company I work for.
Which you're not supposed to do pay to play.
No, you're not supposed to do pay to play. They paid iHeartRadio to hype up the song and play it on their radio stations.
Okay.
This is technology at play.
And there's a lot of digital traces.
Okay, but it also makes me think, obviously this is coming to light because it's a battle between two very high profile music. But what about the rest of music and movies? What about when Netflix says it was the number one stream show was, L54?
Who's really tracking that?
Well, is it all bots? Is it the studio going out and paying $1,000 to get 50,000 bots to watch the show on the first day?
Or is it somebody just saying, this is our number one. It's our number one show or song. And just like, we are award winning. We're the number one podcast about all things digital.
We could be if we wanted to pay some Russian group to go out there and spam listen to the show.
Yeah, that would be bad.
But is anything, because I when I was reading this, the one thing that came to mind was, yeah, that is crazy, that 30 million streams in 1 week.
It's huge.
Because we are so narrow casted right now. There's such a, this is a little deeper. I was in an argument with a friend of mine that I said there will never be another Elvis. Because Elvis was created by the media, which was so small.
At that time.
Yeah. There was 3 channels. There was 4 radio stations.
What about Taylor Swift?
What do you mean?
She's huge.
But she's before the era. She's been around forever.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if any artist right now that's starting would have a chance to be. You look at all the tours, right? All the tours are these big groups from the 80s and 90s.
Old. Yeah.
Right. They're doing arenas around the country, stadiums around the world. No one that's starting right now is going to get that big of popularity that they're going to reach that mass of an audience because everything is dissected.
I never thought about that. Sometimes I say you're not too bright, but
but I guarantee you, if we walked out of the studio and everybody working on the show right now, and you said, "What's the last 5 bands that you listen to?" Nobody's going to have the same list.
No,
I mean, there's bands out there I've never even heard of that have huge fan bases.
And I listen when I turn on Apple Music. It's like I don't even know who these people are.
Right.
I mean, if you ever look at like chill covers, okay, where it's like, leaving
Right.
on a jet plane.
The acoustic version of pop music.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I have people like Willow. I don't even know who she is.
Right.
Okay. I'm like, I have no idea.
So then that leads me back to this kind of makes sense. Maybe Drake has evidence.
He's got some evidence.
He has to take it to court.
Yeah, because he's not gonna piss off everybody.
Especially his own music group.
Yes. Okay. And then plus you're suing iHeart and Spotify and everybody.
Big dogs.
Okay. It's so you're kind of like, peeing in your own yard.
But here's the thing, too. The messaging after the lawsuit from all the people on social media is Drake is weak. He couldn't win the battle. So he couldn't win the battle of the diss tracks. So he has to go to the courtroom. Well, maybe he's only going to the courtroom because he's got some reason to.
No, he's got some evidence.
Absolutely.
You're not gonna take this on unless you have some evidence. I mean, something.
But now can we believe any numbers when anyone says, Mr. Beast, what's stopping Mr. Beast from going out there, spending a couple $1,000s and getting 300,000 views in the first hour of dropping a video to trick the algorithm and get it in front of everybody? I'm not accusing Mr. Beast of anything.
But it happens. I don't know if you've ever seen like the videos that are coming out of China or someplace else like that, where it's like one guy, he's sitting there and he has like rows of iPhones.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that.
And it's like, and so he goes like, puts the video on each one,
right,
or downloads the app on the next one. And
someone posted something on Facebook which they took a screen cap, video screen cap of their phone when they think it's a conversation of a bot and a bot on Facebook. A bot posted a story, and then there's a comment on that which was totally not even connected to what the story was about. And then other bots, it's like bots are talking to each other on the internet. It's not even people on social media.
Well, sometimes people are better. I mean, bots are better than people.
But you're just trying to buy interaction.
Yeah,
that's all you're doing. Just another example of it. On TikTok, there's a huge thing where someone's doing a video and they will intentionally mispronounce a word. So instead of saying Kim Commando, they'd be like Tim Commando. So that people jump in the comments and go, her name's Kim. Hey, dummy, it's Kim. And that forces a bunch of comments, which helps the algorithm, which pushes out the video.
That's right. So this is Charlie Commando.
I don't think it's going to work.
What, you don't?
No.
Why don't we try it? Let's just try it.
All right.
Okay. So what could your name be?
You don't have to do names. I'm going on vacation. I'm going to Bangor, Maine. Oh, that's something they would do that would trigger the comments.
It's Maine.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry, I spoiled it.
It's all about working the algorithm.
I know. Everything's being controlled by the algorithm.
It really is.
It is.
But in the end, when you control the algorithm, you make the money.
It's Kim Commando today. Boy, we have been having a great discussion today. I don't know, you're on fire. Are you still drinking all that water?
Had some sleep.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, it's a big key.
Sleep is super important.
It's helpful. I'm learning that it's helpful.
It is very helpful. So,
ISPs.
Yes.
They're testifying in front of the FCC. If you don't know, ISP, obviously, Internet Service Provider.
Duh. It's an island service provider.
No, there you go. I should have done that. It was a perfect opportunity.
I was working on that.
ISP, of course, Indiana Space Program. And they're testifying. And basically the FCC is saying, we need to put more regulations on you because you're controlling the market and we need to make sure you're still improving and making the quality of the product better for the consumer.
They're not.
And they responded, whoa, hold up. We don't need any more regulations. And the proof is in the pudding. Our customers don't leave. And they don't leave because we have amazing customer service. I can't even say it with a straight face.
They actually said that?
They actually said that. And if we were doing bad by our customers, they would go somewhere else. They wouldn't stay with us.
Okay.
And that's their argument in court, is that worst customer service on the planet.
It is. It just goes down.
Yeah.
It goes down. And then they give you the little outage map. And you're like, and it says, oh yeah, we're down. And then it says estimated time to come back up, 12 hours.
I'll tell you a quick story. I had a ISP. I don't want to name on. Let's just call them Mox Communications. And I called up because I was having an issue. And I got into a little, verbal spat with the woman because she was saying the things I was saying were wrong when it was happening right in front of me. And I had a grandfathered account. I had been with the company for like 18 years or something crazy like that. And so my bill was super low. About 15 minutes later, everything's out in the house. Cable's out in the house. Internet's out in the house.
Just turned everything off.
Turned everything off. So I called back and they're like, oh, yeah, it looks like someone noted on your account something that may caused a disconnect. No big deal. We'll go ahead and set you back up. But when they set me back up, I lost my grandfathered clause in my deal. And so my price went up by $45. That's not excellent customer service.
No, it's not excellent. I mean, I'm thinking of all the trouble I have with Cox Communications.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
I mean, that sometimes it works. Sometimes it goes down. They like to have maintenance.
Whenever they want?
Yeah, whenever they want.
But I got nowhere else to go. I sound like that movie quote. I got nowhere else to go.
You could go to Starlink.
Okay, is that legitimately a competitor?
Yes.
Financially?
Depends how much you're paying.
Okay.
Starlink's roughly about $120 a month.
So that would be about 40 more than I'm paying right now.
The dish is, depending upon it, they lower the price and then they raise the price. I'd say sometimes it's like $600, sometimes $350.
Do you go to Starlink? I mean, who do you use your ISP at your house?
I have Cox.
Okay.
Okay. But I have Starlink.
You have it as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So just when Cox goes down, we have Starlink.
Right.
Cox is here in Phoenix. I mean, this is where we go.
Right.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. There's nowhere else to go.
No.
I can go to CenturyLink, but the quality is not the same. I can go to Verizon or T-Mobile and get one of their home hotspots, but I don't want to.
No, you want to do that.
I don't want to rely home internet when you're streaming video all the time.
And they got a couple of kids and they're
cellular.
online.
Exactly.
It's just going to be too
So
much.
the FCC is right that we have nowhere else to go. And so the government is going to have to mandate improvements if the company is not going to themselves.
I love that they have the balls to say that they have great customer service.
It is. It's great.
I mean, somebody has to be like really sitting there going like,
who drew the small straw? The one who had to say that in court to the FCC.
That's the meme. There should be a meme of this person saying like, we have great customer service. We have fabulous customer service. And everybody in the world would be like, going like, who are you kidding?
It's the worst.
It is the worst. And then you get the 800 number.
Well, it's at least better than some of these tech companies that don't even have a way to reach out.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you can call Cox and then they can disconnect your account out of spite.
Do you remember when Cox went down? And a long time ago, we were in the other building and the phone lines went down and the website went down. And so we couldn't take any phone calls.
Okay.
And
that was a rough day show.
It was a rough show.
It's a call-based show.
Yeah. And so I actually got on the air and said, I wish that I could be taking phone calls and we could be even taking questions through the website, but Cox is down.
I do remember this show now.
Remember?
And they got it back up within like 20 minutes from that point?
Oh, no. It was down.
Oh, the whole show?
Yeah. And then that was hard, because I was like, so I was born in New Jersey.
But then after that, you got a contact at Cox, and anytime we had an issue, you would call the bat phone.
Oh, I did. I hit the bat phone. Well, what they did is they came out, and they did a fiber ring around our building, and the barrio of Phoenix, which I don't even know whoever owns this building now if they even know there's a fiber ring around, so that if in case somebody, what they were doing is that they decide on a Saturday morning, because that's when we're doing the show live. That of course, I mean, that wasn't a bad time for them to take the Cox down for the whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
But except for us.
Yeah. Everybody else was, they can't watch YouTube. We were off the air.
And I'm sitting there going like, ah. But no, so the gentleman in Atlanta, they came out and they assured me that it would never happen again. And they've been very good to me since, pretty much.
All right, maybe they're right. Maybe they have great customer service. As long as you're a business and you're Kim Commando, you got great customer service. The rest of us schlubs have to sit there and get nothing.
And you get on a megaphone going, okay, let me. But just real quick, the funniest stories though, is that years ago it was that whole thing with they would call you and they'd try to switch your long distance service. Okay. So MCI and Sprint and AT&T. And so we went in to do the show on a Saturday morning. And the 800 number, unbeknownst to me, was switched to a Puerto Rican hair salon in Brooklyn, New York.
So some Puerto Rican hair salon is sitting there getting all your calls, or you're getting the calls from a Puerto Rican hair salon?
The Puerto Rican hair salon in Brooklyn is getting every one of my phone calls.
Poor beauticians.
Okay. And so we're trying to, and like, we're wondering, like, I mean, the phone lines are dead. Peter the Great and
Which
I.
never happened.
Okay. We're just sitting there, like, yes, just no calls at all. And I'm like, and I'm begging for calls. I'm like, I'll pay you.
Bail me out.
Help me out of here. Begging for calls. And so finally I'm like, you know what? Let's call the phone number, see where it goes. So we call the number, and then it ends up like, this Puerto Rican hair salon. And so then I'm like, hi, you have my phone number. And the guy screams at me. He's like, my phone's right out of
Great customer service. Just more stories of great customer service.
Love customer service. All right, folks, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. And I know so many of you have been asking, you don't need to send us Christmas presents.
Speak for yourself. I need brown socks.
Oh, yeah, we too. He needs brown socks. If you're wondering what to get Andrew, brown socks. I don't need anything because I am color coordinated.
She has all the reds. Happy Thanksgiving.
This program is a copyrighted production of Westar Multimedia Entertainment and protected by the copyright laws. Any rebroadcast or use of this program for commercial, business, economic, or financial purposes without the written permission of Westar Multimedia Entertainment is strictly prohibited.